Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is technically afternoon for me, but it is still morning in the Big Brother house, so we're going with that. It is October 10th, Tuesday, and I am once again not working at work. I was working from home. It's my lunch break, so I thought I would jump online and record a CarCast for today. Really, we're in between, right? We're not quite to Thursday, and we're past the Power of Veto meeting, which was yesterday. And, of course, it didn't get used, which I think yesterday I was recording it while it was going on. It did not, it did get used. Jag used it. Cameron is nominated. So Felicia came off the block. Cameron is now nominated. He knows he's going. I don't know how hard he's even going to try to stay. I mean, he's been talking about things. He's been kind of sow some discontent. I think he's more like, I'm just going to cause problems before I leave, because what else has he got to lose? He knows he's not staying. So we'll see what he does today when they get up. They were actually still in bed before I started this, at least as of about 10 minutes ago. They were still in bed, and usually they get their wake-up call now, but there's no reason to get them up early. It is getting, we are at day 70 with 30 days to go. We are approaching the, quote, end game. We are at the jury phase. All kinds of things going on. As a matter of fact, that's kind of the gist of what I wanted to talk about today, because that's what's going on. They are all maneuvering and dodging and weaving and trying to figure out how to align themselves going forward. Now, the problem with any of that is that, once again, it comes down to who wins the next head of household. I did see someone report that Suri doesn't want to win the next head of household. I don't think she wants to win any head of household. I don't know how far she's going to go. I got in a bit of a heated debate yesterday with a few people online who don't think I know what I'm talking about, some of them at least, and about how the gameplay is going and what is a blind side and what is a backdoor and all of these kind of things. So it's always fun when you try to have a conversation in 240 characters, 280 characters, because it's just impossible to convey all the meaning and express yourself. And so, yeah, I let a couple of people get to me yesterday. I have since moved on from that, other than I'm talking about it now, but I did want to address it real briefly. So just to be clear, there was some debate on whether Cameron is being backdoored, and he also talked about being blindsided. The video I shared yesterday about the blindside got some reaction about, he's being backdoored, and it's like, well, all right, let's talk about that. Is Cameron being backdoored? Well, it depends on how you define getting backdoored, all right? So does that mean, is he getting backdoored by the house? Is he getting backdoored by an individual? Who's he getting backdoored by? Because it was not Bowie's intention to get Cameron out when she did her nominations. Her intention was to get out, in my opinion, and based on the video evidence where she basically said Suri has contacts with everybody, so I have to be careful what I say. That was at the end of Sunday night's show. Bowie Jane wanted to target Suri, right? And then after she made her nominations, she got kind of pressured by Matt and Jag that really who she should go after is Cameron. And they started bringing her evidence of things that Cameron had been saying to kind of help give her the reason and to turn her against Cameron. And that seemed to have done the trick. Now, Bowie Jane also is kind of out there without super strong alliances. And she said that I'm playing kind of an individual game. So she kind of had to make the decision that, well, this is the one I'm throwing my lot in with. And that's also what I heard her talk when she was talking to either Felicia or Suri. She's like, I'm trying to decide, who I work with or how I go. And I think she's kind of thrown in at least a little bit with Matt and Jag, who last week were talking about making a final three with Felicia or with Bowie Jane. So Bowie Jane did not make her nominations on Friday with the intentions of backdooring Cameron. Now, is that happening? Is he being backdoored? Well, in a way, yes, he is being backdoored because he didn't get picked to play in the power veto competition. So he never had a chance to save himself. All I'm saying is that Bowie's intention was not to backdoor Cameron when she made her nominations. Now, again, others, they were like, we can get rid of Matt, we can get rid of Cameron, we can do this. Their intentions were that, but hers weren't. So that term backdoor it just depends on which direction you're looking at it from, right? The blindside comment comes at, blindside implies that the person doesn't see it coming. Didn't know, wasn't expecting it. Now, can you say that Cameron is being blindsided by the fact that he's being backdoored? Maybe. But that's over now. He now is fully aware that he's being backdoored, most likely. So it's not a blindside, right? Okay, have I beat this enough? I think I have. But these are all things that are really hard to express in 280 characters. When you have people coming at you saying, you don't know what you're talking about. It just is like, yeah, I do, kind of, a little bit. Most people do. Most of us we are fully aware of what we're talking about with the information we're given, right? Just like yesterday, here's another example. I tweeted out, I heard Bowie Jane say that apparently in the backyard yesterday, someone said to Cameron, this might be your last night in the backyard. And Cameron said, oh, I guess you're not voting for me. And I heard Bowie Jane say Blue, but she actually said Felicia. And I know those two things don't sound the same, but it's that accent, darn it. It's that Australian accent. I went back and rewatched it. After I tweeted it out, somebody corrected me, and I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, oh, you're right. And then I recorded it, and I posted it and said, I got it wrong. She said Felicia said it. Well, then somebody else overnight found a TikTok video of the actual event. And, of course, it was Felicia, but the wording wasn't quite the way Bowie Jane described it. It was a little bit more of this is going to be your last night in the backyard. And Cameron was like, well, that's a cruel way to tell someone. I mean, it's the interpretation. It's how you hear it. I was reporting what Bowie Jane heard or saw, observed, and she didn't get it quite right. And I didn't get it quite right. And it's the game of telephone, right? It changes depending on as it goes down the line. So I kind of, it's fine. It's never perfect. You're just trying to get the gist of what's going on, and especially things like that. Unless that turned into I'm now voting you out because you said this about me. That's really the only time I'm too worried about the exact wording. It was more of a funny thing that happened, right? And Cameron even laughed about it at the time. He laughed about it happening. It was kind of and Felicia laughed about it too. So, all right. Let me climb out of this rabbit hole and go back to talking about what's going on. So the house guests are going to be getting up sometime very soon if they haven't already. There will be a continued scramble on the next phase of the game. What's happening next? Who's going to go work with who? Who's going to nominate who? You have three solid pairs, right? Cameron's gone. All right, let's take Cameron out of the picture. Then you have three solid pairs. You have Suri and Felicia. Whether Suri wants her to be a partner or not, she's kind of stuck with her. You have American and Corey, and you have Matt and Jag. And then you have Bowie Jane and Blue, who are kind of free agents and also kind of targets because they're free agents, right? So they are being looked at. I think it was Corey that said if we win the head of household, we should nominate Bowie Jane and Blue and let Bowie Jane know that she's safe and Blue's the target. I mean, there's your scenario of how are we going to play this so we don't upset the other couples, but we still get somebody out. And that was one angle that Corey's looking at. I know that Suri has been trying to work on getting closer to Blue. There's also talk of trying to, Matt and Jag, talking about trying to work with Felicia and Suri and Blue to form a 5-person. Well, no, they were with and I think Bowie Jane to form kind of a 5-person alliance. So it's all still going on, but it's very loose and tentative, and head of household is definitely going to determine how this all plays out. So that's why it's like, just know the basics. Just know that you've got Bowie Jane out there who isn't solidly locked in, even with Matt and Jag. You've got Blue, who's very much kind of stuck in a certain amount of an island, but you've also got people trying to pull them into their groups. And you've got Corey and America, and then Matt and Jag. And Matt and Jag definitely see Corey as the bigger threat between America and Corey. And they want to target Corey pretty soon. But they were also talking about targeting Felicia, right? So, there's all this going on. It's still very much it's a very fluid situation. A lot of movement going on. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen right now. And then you have Cameron thrown into the mix, who's out there stirring the pot, trying to cause problem and dissension. And I'm sure that's what he's going to do today. So there's your vague kind of summary of what's going on today. I realize it's not, super detailed, super perfect, but it's the best I got for you today. And I'm at my destination, so I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to sign off. Other things to talk about. I will briefly touch on the other reality shows that I am currently watching. Big Brother UK, second day of Big Brother UK. Second show was last night. I watched it on delay. I used my VPN connection that I have, and I've talked about already. And I went to the website, and then I just played it right on their online player and just watched it delayed. The other option is you can just, it is showing up on torrents. It did show up. It didn't show up at Daily Motion. It's gone. The person that uploaded the first episode, it got taken down really quickly. So I don't know if it's going to show up on Daily Motion publicly. I'll explain that in a second. So the torrents is one way to find it. I am going to write up a blog post on Big Brother Gossip that talks about some of this. I have a person that is sharing the videos online. And so those of you that already know who it is, then you should just look them up. It's the same one who's done it for Big Brother Canada, but I'm not going to say it on here. I will figure out how to share it with you guys in my blog post or something that I plan on doing later today. So that's how you can watch Big Brother UK. The easiest way is to get a VPN and do all the steps that I mentioned, I think, on Saturday, or I've logged out of my Twitter account, and I will kind of touch on very briefly, or at least link to on my blog post today. Then you can just go at your own leisure and watch it after it's aired, or even watch it live while it's on, because you can watch live TV on ITV with the VPN setup. So the other show is The Traitors Canada, and episode 2 was last night. I watched it earlier, and I discovered that if you have a CTV account, Canadian Television, I think is what that stands for. I hope that's what that stands for. So I used my VPN again, and I pointed myself to Toronto, and then I created an account on CTV's website, and then I verified my account with my email and stuff, logged in, and I was able to, last night I was able to watch yesterday's episode, or I'm sorry, last week's episode. I don't know what the requirement, to watch it live, I think you have to have additional information to be able to watch it live, but you can watch it the next day. And so today, early this morning, before work, I logged on to CTV's site, and look, there it is. It's right there, and I could click on it and watch it. Now, I don't know if there's a certain window that you can watch it within, but I was able to watch last night's episode this morning on their website. So anybody can do that again. If you have a VPN, you can go to CTV and watch it. And I will include some of this information, again, on my blog post that I'm going to do later today. The other option is I have shared links to the show on the same place that the other ones were on my blog post about Traitors. So there's another way to watch it there if you don't have a VPN kind of a thing. It showed up on Daily Motion. Episode 2 showed up last night on Daily Motion, but the one copy of it that showed up had no audio, and it was video only. So, yeah, that's not going to work. There's lots of episode 1s up there on Daily Motion as well. So I'm assuming that episode 2 will eventually start showing up as well. So it just depends on how long you want to wait. But again, I'm not spoiling any of these shows. So there you go. There's my thoughts. There's what's up. Happy Tuesday. Tomorrow should be more of a normal day for me. I'll be back at work instead of having to just work remotely. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys, all right? Take care. Be well. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.